Now, according to the Nasdaq, there are two dividend ETFs that stand out the most for retail investors. These two ETFs offer regular dividends and are the wet dream of those who seek true passive income. But which of the two is best for you? So I thought, let's put these bad boys to the test. Let's see which ETF can be crowned the true king of all dividend ETFs. The rules are straightforward and simple. We backtest these bad boys as far as we can, head to head. We simply invest $10,000 on day one and let it ride. The winner is the one that gets the best overall return, meaning us as investors make the most money and can get the sweet, sweet taste of passive income. Sounds super simple, right? Well, not really, because if I'm honest with you, after doing this test, looking at the results, there was something that stood out, and it was a huge issue because there's an easier way to make even more money. But more on that later in the video. The results of our backtest show that there is one clear winner between these two dividend ETFs that the Nasdaq has put on offer. The winner not only gives us a better overall investment at the end of the test, but also pays us more than 25% in extra dividend payments. The two dividend ETFs in question are the Schwab's US Dividend Equity, which is ticker SCHD, and Vanguard's High Dividend Yield, ticker symbol VYM. These two are very popular with the current dividend and passive income crowd, both on Twitter, YouTube, you name it. But only one of them can take the crown and reign supreme as the best dividend ETF out there. Now, our test starts at the end of 2012, when the Schwab's SCHD was actually formed. Throughout the test, these funds tend to go neck and neck other than one standout year, the mask-wearing year in 2020. For some reason, during lockdown, Vanguard's VYM just didn't perform. It was on a complete holiday and only offered a pitiful 1% return, whereas the SCHD knocked out a staggering 15% in the same year. And I see it as this differential, this single year, that makes the SCHD the true king of dividend ETFs. But that is not the full story, as I mentioned earlier. Schwab also wins the average annualized return, coming in at an average of 12.66% every single year, while the Vanguard only offers 11.24. Again, the differential being that one standout year. But ultimately, that 1 year means you get an average of 1% extra every single year just from picking the Schwab over Vanguard's option. And that is not the best thing about the Schwab, because if you're buying one of these two, it's probably because you want dividends and passive income. And if that is the case, in our test, one of them, the Schwab, offers you a much higher return. In fact, more than 25% more in annual passive income. Throughout our test, your annual passive income in 2023 would have been $1,439 from our initial 10K. Compare that to VYM, which is only offering you $1,098 for the entire year. Schwab also won on the overall investment amount at the end of the test with $42,219 compared to VYM's $36,212. So far, we can see that between these two dividend giant ETFs, Schwab is a clear winner in pretty much every single aspect. But it brings me to a huge problem, not just with dividend ETFs, but with the whole passive income community who are chasing these dividends. Because if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably noticed a trend recently where I have an issue with this movement and overall the sector in itself. Everybody wants passive income. I truly get that. It's a great feeling waking up knowing you have new dollars hitting your account when you haven't had to do anything. But unless you are now into retirement or soon to be heading into retirement, I do not understand why this is so important. You see, fundamentally, when a stock pays a dividend, that dividend is usually taxed already at the corporate level, meaning the cash flow that you are already entitled to as a shareholder has already been eaten into by the state. Dividends are simply paid out after net income is calculated and corporate taxes paid. I would rather buy a company or an ETF that reinvests its money to get me a better overall return on my invested capital. And this is because that company, that business is more likely to get a better return on that money that they would have paid me than I would get myself. They're going to be way more efficient at managing this money than I will. I do get the appeal of passive income, but let me show you this point with a very simple test. If we do the exact same backtest on our system with $10,000 and just simply add the VOO into the equation, which is an S&P 500 tracker from Vanguard, our final amount rises from $42,000 to $48,427. The VOO offers you an annualized return of 13.9% in this test compared to the Schwab's 12.66. And I think this is just simply down to that corporate America typically is better at spending and reallocating these dollars than we are as investors. And I think that this message has been lost a lot with new retail investors. But don't take my word for it, because I can prove it to you with one step further with an even more direct example. A couple of weeks ago, I put out a video talking about an ETF that has beaten the market year in, year out throughout its entire history. And if we put this ETF in our same 10K example, it not only competes, it not only wins, it absolutely destroys and dominates the competition. And this is because the companies inside this ETF are not focused on dividends, they are focused on something called return on invested capital and getting as much cash flow as possible. The companies inside this ETF are just better at spending and allocating dollars than not just other companies, but also us as retail investors. For example, one of the companies in this ETF is Meta or Facebook. To generate a new $1 of profit, Meta or Facebook doesn't have to do that much. They already have the infrastructure and platform in place, and they just simply need to place more ads and voila, magic money. A good easy way to gauge this is just looking at the ROIC, the return on invested capital I mentioned earlier. And you can see the statistic on pretty much every website. Slight plug for my own website, Stock MVP. For every $100 Meta spends, it generates about $35 in profit. That is an absolute huge return on an annualized basis. If you compare that to an oil company, even with current high oil prices, they still need to get an oil rig in the ground, drill for oil, pay people to drill for that oil, ship that oil, and then hopefully manufacture it into something that a consumer can buy and somehow try and make a profit. ExxonMobil, one of the biggest and best oil companies out there, is highly efficient at doing so, but even in this extremely expensive oil market, it still only generates a return on invested capital of less than 9%, meaning you get $9 for every $100 they spend. And yes, out of these $9, if they are going to pay it to you as a dividend, you're going to have to be taxed on that $9. And this is even worse when it comes to utility companies, typically where dividend aristocrats live, where the return on invested capital is quite woeful. To illustrate this point one final time, the ETF from my past video in the exact same 10K test, the results just speak for themselves. If you recall, the dividend king Schwab offered you 12.6% annualized return on average. This alternative wipes the absolute floor with it, giving you 20.12% in the exact same test on an annualized basis. The funny thing of all is, even with my other option, you're still gonna earn about $500 in passive income at the end. Yes, that's less than the $1,400 you're gonna get from Schwab, but I don't think you're gonna be too upset, because the final balance of the Schwab, if you recall, was $42,000, but with this ETF, it's more than double that, with $91,608 left at the end of the test. The point of this video is not to show you that passive income and dividends are bad. It's just to show you that in a lot of cases, it is far from the best option. And it's super important you understand this, especially as a younger investor, because as we get older, there is a huge deadline that creeps up very, very fast that you have to hit. This approaching deadline will determine if you even have a chance at reaching financial freedom. If you breach this set that age, without a certain amount of money invested, you're basically admitting to yourself right now you're happy to work long past 65. So make sure you watch this video next to make sure you hit this milestone as fast as possible. This is probably one of the most important videos you'll ever watch.